They built walls around you, high, unbreakable, stretching beyond the horizon. You didn't question them at first. After all, they told you this was where you belonged. They called it fate. They called it your limits. They whispered in your ear, soothing yet suffocating, convincing you that this was safety, that beyond these walls was nothing but darkness, and you believed them. Because when you are born inside a cage, the sky itself starts to look like a lie. You could hear them outside, the voices of those who put you here. Some laughed, some pitied you, some didn't even acknowledge you, as if your struggle was invisible, as if you were a ghost trapped behind glass, screaming soundlessly. They spoke with certainty, weaving a narrative so tight that even you began to accept it. This is all you are. This is all you will ever be. Their words weren't chains, but they bound you just the same. They weren't shackles, but they made you sink under their weight. At first, you tried to fight. You pressed against the walls. You clawed at them. You screamed until your voice was raw. But the walls never moved, and slowly, piece by piece, you let yourself become what they said you were. A prisoner, a shadow of what you once believed you could be. It is a terrible thing to surrender to a cage that was never meant to hold you. Time passed, and the fire in your chest dimmed. You convinced yourself that maybe this was enough. Maybe the walls were mercy. Maybe you weren't strong enough to leave. You looked around, and others were trapped too. Some resigned, some still fighting, some who had long since forgotten they were ever free. You wondered if you were weak for still dreaming of the outside. You wondered if the walls were right, but deep down, something never fully died. A flicker, a whisper beneath the weight of your doubt, a feeling you couldn't name. It didn't matter how many times they told you who you were. It didn't matter how many times you told yourself to accept this life. There was something they overlooked, something they forgot, because they only saw you as you were in the moment, wounded, weary, lost. They never imagined that even in the deepest darkness, fire can still burn. They thought you would never leave. They thought you would never rise. But they forgot one thing. You still have a fire inside you. The walls around you were built to keep you in, but the real prison was never made of stone. It was carved into your mind, brick by brick, word by word, until the bars were no longer something you could touch, but something you could feel. You stopped trying to push against the walls because a voice inside you whispered, maybe they're right. Maybe you aren't strong enough. Maybe you don't deserve more. Maybe this is all you were ever meant to be. It didn't happen all at once. At first, the doubts were only shadows in the corner of your mind, easy to ignore. But over time, they grew louder. They became familiar. They became truth. And one day, you stopped fighting them. You let them shape you. Because when a lie is repeated enough, it stops feeling like a lie. The past became a loop, playing over and over. Every failure, every mistake, every moment of weakness etched into your mind like scars that never fade. Every time you thought about escape, the memories rose like ghosts, reminding you why you should stay where you are. They spoke with the voices of those who had doubted you, those who had hurt you, those who had walked away when you needed them most. And worst of all, they spoke with your own voice, the one that had once carried hope, but now only echoed fear. Your mind became a locked door, and every time you reached for the key, it slipped just out of reach. You convinced yourself that the key had never existed at all, that you had imagined it, that freedom was something meant for others, not for you. And so you stayed, not because you were too weak to leave, but because the prison inside your head had convinced you that there was nothing worth escaping to. This is how they win, not with chain, not with wall, but by making you believe you were never free to begin with. But listen to me now. If they can control your mind, they don't need chains on your body. If they can make you doubt yourself, they don't need to lock the door, because you will never try to open it. But you were never meant to stay in this place. You were never meant to be caged, not by them, not by your past. not even by yourself. It's time to wake up. There comes a moment when everything you've believed, everything you've accepted, begins to crack. It doesn't happen in a grand, dramatic explosion. No, it's quieter than that. A single, barely perceptible shift, like the first crack in glass that spreads across the surface unnoticed at first. But once it starts, it can never be undone. You've spent so long seeing yourself through the eyes of others, their doubts, their judgments, their expectations. Every time you looked into the mirror, you saw someone small, someone fragile, someone incapable of escaping the cage. You thought that was who you were. That's what they had told you. That's what you believe. But then one day, the reflection begins to change. It's subtle at first. You don't notice it immediately, but something shifts in the way you stand, the way you breathe, the way you carry yourself. The woman or man staring back at you isn't as weak as you thought. The face in the mirror isn't broken. It's tired, yes, but it's also resilient. It's been through the storm. It's endured. And now, for the first time, you see the truth. The illusion begins to crack. The mask slips. And suddenly you realize you've been looking at a broken mirror. The image was distorted, not by the world, but by the lies you told yourself. You weren't the weak one. You weren't the powerless one. It was the world. It was the doubters. It was the fear that had kept you shackled. They had twisted your reflection so many times that you no longer knew who you were. But now, the cracks have formed, and the real you is emerging. For the first time, you understand the truth. You are not what they told you. You are not what you believed you were. You are what you choose to become. The power was always yours. The strength was always within you, hidden beneath the layers of doubt and fear. The moment you see this, something inside you stirs, something that has been dormant for far too long. The fire within you begins to flicker, weak at first, but gaining strength. You feel it deep in your chest, rising from the ashes of the past, burning away the lies that have held you captive. Now the fire is rising. Now you feel its warmth, its heat, its undeniable force. You are no longer the person you were. You are becoming someone else, someone powerful, someone untouchable. And in that moment, you realize the escape was never about breaking free from external chains. It was about breaking free from the lie you had believed about yourself. Now, the escape begins. The moment you see the truth, you realize something else. You don't have to stay here anymore. The walls that once felt so high, so impenetrable, are no longer as solid as they seemed. Now it's not about waiting for the perfect moment or praying for a miracle. Now it's about taking back what was always yours, your agency, your power, your life. The escape doesn't begin with a single leap, but with small, deliberate steps. A more-caged beast doesn't break free with a roar. It starts by learning to stretch its limbs, to test its strength, to find its way out. The beast learns the cage inside and out, its every corner and every weak point. The first step is recognizing that the cage was never truly a match for you. That's the key. You were never as helpless as they made you believe. You are capable of breaking the bars, and that's exactly what begins to happen. You begin to take small victories. They may seem insignificant at first, but they are the building blocks of your freedom. Maybe it's waking up earlier than you ever have, moving your body, taking a moment to breathe. Maybe it's refusing to let the doubts creep in when they try to tell you that you're not enough. Maybe it's something as simple as thinking, I am worth the fight. Every moment that you take back is a moment that shifts your mindset. It's not just about breaking free from the world around you. It's about reclaiming the power over your thought. You begin to see yourself as capable, as strong, as someone who deserves to be more than they were told they could be. You refuse to settle, and then the rebellion starts. It starts small at first, like a whisper in the dark. You can't, but you've heard that voice before, haven't you? The voice that says, you're not good enough. The voice that says, you don't deserve to be free. The voice that says, this is who you are, and you're stuck. And the moment you hear it, you decide that this time will be different. You refuse to listen. This is the beginning of the rebellion, the smallest act of defiance. It's me standing up to your own fears, challenging the very thing that has kept you in place for so long. The first time you tell yourself, I can, I will, I am not afraid. You know in that instant that this is only the beginning. There's no turning back now. One crack in the wall, just one. That's all it takes. And with that crack comes a shift, a small but powerful shift. Each crack opens the way for more. Each victory, no matter how small, begins to build the momentum you need to break free. One step closer to the door, one step closer to the life you were meant to live. And now they should be afraid. Because the one thing that the world, the doubts, and the cages of the past never counted on was this. You've remembered who you are. And once you remember, there's nothing that can stop you. As you begin to rise, to break free from the chains they've tried to bind you with, something else begins to happen. They notice. Those who built the walls around you, those who whispered the lies, they see you changing. They feel the shift, and they won't let you escape so easily. They will push harder now. They will throw everything they have at you, because the one thing they fear more than anything is your freedom. They want you to stay in your cage, to stay small, to stay quiet. But you were born for battle. The fight is not just about breaking physical walls anymore. Now it's about surviving the psychological warfare they will wage against you. When you rise, they won't let you go without a fight. They will throw everything at you, every weapon they have, every tactic they can use to drag you back down will come at you with full force. But you are no stranger to pain. You are no stranger to battle. You've been in the trenches your whole life. You just didn't know it yet. Now you do. They will start with guilt. The people who once held you down will try to make you feel responsible for their suffering, for their disappointment. They will say things like, you've changed, or you don't care about us anymore. They will twist your love for them into a weapon, using your empathy against you. They want to remind you of how much you've sacrificed for them. They want you to feel guilty for putting yourself first. But you must remember, you cannot give from an empty cup. Then comes shame. The world will use your past against you. Every mistake, every failure, every moment you felt small. They will dig into the wounds you thought had healed and twist the knife. You don't deserve this. You've made too many mistakes. They will try to remind you of the you that was lost in the shadows, the one who believed they could never escape. They will paint you as unworthy of the life you are building, trying to make you question your worth. But know this, shame is a tool of control, and you are stronger than it. Next comes fear, their most powerful weapon. They will try to make you afraid of what lies ahead. They will whisper in your ear, what if you fail again? What if you can't do it? What if the world isn't ready for you? They will paint the future as a dark, uncertain place, hoping that fear will drive you back into the comfort of your cage. But here's the truth. Fear is a liar. Fear only has power when you let it, and you, my friend, have learned to rise above it. Then, the final weapon, manipulation. They will try to control you with lies, promises, and empty gestures. They will try to drag you back into their world, to convince you that you're safer where you were, that you're better off going back to the way things were. They will prey on your insecurities, your weaknesses, and your need for validation. They will try to make you believe that you are not enough on your own, that you need them to survive. But you don't. You have everything inside you to succeed, and always the past will come back to haunt you. They will remind you of who you used to be. They will dredge up old mistakes, old failures, old scars, trying to convince you that you can't change, that the past defines you. But the past does not own you. You are not the person you were. You are the person you choose to be. This is their last attempt to break you, to keep you in line, to make you feel small, to make you feel like you can't go on. But you know something they don't. You were never meant to stay down. This fight, this resistance, is their final stand against your freedom. And if you stand your ground, if you refuse to go back to what they want you to be, you win. Stand tall, stand firm. They can push all they want, but they cannot stop what's already been set in motion. This is your victory. There comes a moment in every journey where the truth hits you hard. No one is coming to save you. The world won't deliver you from your pain. The people who once promised to help you, to lift you, won't always be there when you need them. No one will ride in on a white horse to rescue you. You are alone in this fight, but that is where your true power lies. It was never about waiting for someone to break your chains or tear down the walls for you. It was always about you finding the strength within yourself to break free. It was always you. And in that realization, the shift happens. The world around you starts to change, and the walls that once seemed unscalable begin to feel like paper. The chains that once held you down begin to feel weak, brittle. The fire inside you burns brighter, hotter, until there is no question anymore. You don't need anyone else to save you. You are the savior of your own story. With a roar in your chest, you begin to cut the chain that have bound you for so long. Every strike of the blade represents a moment of defiance, a moment where you took control, where you stopped letting fear or guilt or shame dictate your life. The chains fall away one by one, heavy and sharp with the weight of your past. But now, they are nothing but dust. You are free. Then comes the walls, once towering, once insurmountable, now just obstacles in your way. You don't hesitate. You don't second-guess yourself. You smash through them with a force that surprises even you. The sound of destruction rings in your ears like a song of freedom, a song of empowerment. Every strike, every blow is a declaration. You are not broken. You are reborn. And then you rise. You rise from the ashes of everything that tried to burn you. You rise from the weight of their doubts, from the shackles of their lies. You rise from the past that tried to keep you small. And in that moment, you feel it, the power surging through you, the strength you've always had but never recognized. You were never weak. You were just buried. And now, you are Mekaten, unbreakable. They called you weak. They called you fragile. They called you too small to make a difference. But what they feared, what they were terrified of, was the moment you found your power. They were terrified of the strength that lay dormant inside you. They were terrified of who you would become once you woke up and realized you were never meant to stay in the cage. They feared your potential. They feared your freedom. But the truth is, you were never weak. You were always strong, stronger than they ever imagined, stronger than you ever imagined. Now you've discovered the truth. Now you've unlocked the power within you that was always waiting. You are no longer trapped. You are no longer shackled by their lies or your own doubts. You are no longer theirs to control. Now you are free. You've broken the chains. You've smashed through the walls. You've risen from the ashes. You've fought the battles, confronted the lies, and discovered your true power. But there is still one final door standing in front of you. It's the last barrier, the last test before you can taste the freedom you've fought so hard for. And this door, this final obstacle, is the hardest one you will face. Because behind this door lies your greatest fear. Behind this door lies the thing that scared you the most. The part of you that you have been avoiding. The piece of the puzzle that has always kept you from truly stepping into your power. This is the moment when the fight isn't just external. It's internal. It's a test of everything you've learned, everything you've become, everything you've fought for. You will stand there, looking at the door, and you will feel the pull of hesitation. A voice will whisper in your ear. Are you sure you're ready? What if you fail? What if you're not enough? It's the voice of doubt, the last remnants of the prison you've been breaking free from. It will try to convince you that you can't go on, that you should turn back, that the world you've been fighting for isn't worth it. But in that moment, you have a choice. You can hesitate, and you can let fear paralyze you once again. You can turn back, convinced that the road ahead is too dangerous, too uncertain. You can listen to the voice of doubt, let it control you, and step back into the cage. Or you can stand tall. You can embrace the fear and choose to move forward. This is the final test, the one where you must decide once and for all if you will allow the fear to control you, or if you will step through the door into your freedom. Because the truth is, there is no going back now. You've come too far. You've fought too hard. And the life on the other side of that door, the life you've always dreamed of, is waiting for you. You've been tested, battered, and bruised, but you are not broken. The fear you feel, it's nothing compared to the power you've found within yourself. You are stronger than this moment. So today, will you hesitate? Will you let the fear stand in your way? Or will you take that final step, no matter how uncertain it feels? The answer is in your hand. This is your moment. This is where you decide to become the person you were always meant to be. The only thing left is to walk through the door, and once you do, you will never be the same. You will never be the person who doubted themselves. You will never be the person who hesitated. You will be the one who stepped into your freedom, who broke through every barrier, who faced your demons and emerged stronger than ever before. The life on the other side is waiting for you, and it is yours for the taking. Now walk through the door. You've walked through the door. You've crossed the threshold into a world that feels completely different from the one you once knew. The transformation is undeniable, and it's impossible to ignore. Everything around you, everything within you has shifted. The air feels different now. It's not just something you breathe in. It's something you experience. You earned this breath. You fought for it. The very sensation of freedom fills you, as though the world itself is alive, buzzing with possibility. The light feels brighter. The shadows of the past no longer cling to you, and you can see clearly for the first time in your life. The weight that once pressed on your chest, the heaviness of self-doubt, the darkness of your fear, all of it is gone. It's as if you've stepped out of a cave into the sun, feeling the warmth on your skin, the light in your eyes. The world outside the trap is full of opportunities, full of life, and it's yours for the taking. But this new world is not just one of light. It is also one of depth, and it is here you realize that your journey hasn't just been about escaping. It's been about becoming the person you were always meant to be. You are no longer weighed down by the past. You no longer carry the scars that used to define you. Instead, you carry the strength you've earned through every battle, every tear, every painful step forward. The world feels open, and you stand on the edge ready to conquer it. The contrast between who you were and who you are now is startling. They once saw you as small, as insignificant, as a person they could easily break and control. They thought they could keep you in your place, keep you small, keep you stuck, me. But now, they cannot even recognize you. The person they once knew has disappeared, transformed into someone untouchable. You are not the same person who once doubted their own worth. You are powerful, you are free, and those who tried to keep you in your cage no longer have the power to hold you back. They believed they had you cornered, trapped in a cage of fear, shame, guilt, and doubt. They believed they could break you, make you conform, make you stay small. They thought they had you figured out. But now, you are not just free. You are undeniable. You are the storm they never saw coming, the force they can't control. You are not just out of the trap. You are a force of nature, unstoppable and fierce. They thought they had you cornered. But now they don't even know where to find you. You've left behind the world they knew. You've walked into a life they can't touch. You are no longer defined by the limits they placed on you. You are a new person, a force to be reckoned with, and the world is waiting for you to claim what's yours. Now you are untouchable. There's a kind of revenge that is far more powerful than anything you could ever wish for. It's not about lashing out or striking back with anger. It's not about sinking to their level, taking your hurt and turning it into bitterness. No, the best revenge is to rise so high, to evolve so fully that the past can't reach you anymore. They thought they could define you. They thought they could keep you small, keep you trapped in their expectations, their limitations, their boxes. They said you would never amount to anything. They said you were too weak, too broken, too unworthy. They thought they had you cornered, that you would stay down forever. But you didn't. You rose. You broke free. And now, the greatest revenge isn't to watch them suffer. It's to watch you thrive. It's to watch you become the person they always doubted you could be, the person they were terrified of. The best revenge is to become what they said you could never be. And now, they must watch as you soar to heights they never thought possible. They must watch as you live the life they told you was impossible. They must watch as you achieve everything they said you never would. They tried to break you. They tried to stop you. But the more they pushed, the more you grew. The higher you rose. Every attempt to bring you down only fueled your fire. And now, they are powerless to stop you. Now they must watch as you succeed, as you live the life they said you could never have. This is your revenge, your ascension. It's not about destroying them. It's about thriving, about succeeding beyond their wildest dreams, and showing them that they were wrong about you. You have taken back control. You've taken back your power, your life, your future. They lost control. They tried to hold you down, but you took it back. And now, they can only watch as you rise. Watch as you claim your place in the world. Watch as you become everything they feared. You didn't need to seek revenge in the way they expected. You didn't need to tear them down. You simply had to become untouchable. And now they have no choice but to watch you live the life they could never take away from you. They lost control. You took it back. The truth is, you were never trapped. Not really. Everything you endured, all the pain, the suffering, the doubts, they weren't there to destroy you. They were there to forge you. You've spent so much time thinking you were a prisoner, that your struggles were the result of an unfair world trying to break you. But the reality is far more powerful. You weren't caged. You were being trained. Every obstacle you faced, every setback, every betrayal, every fear, they weren't chains holding you down. They were the heat, the pressure, the fire that shapes and molds you into something stronger, something unbreakable. You see, Yamagan fire doesn't destroy gold. Fire purifies it. It burns away the impurities, the weaknesses, the things that don't belong. And after the fire has done its work, what remains is pure, untarnished, indestructible. That's what this journey has been. It wasn't a prison. It was a forge. And you are the gold that has been purified and strengthened through the flame. Everything you went through, every dark moment, every failure, every loss, was part of the process. It was all shaping you, teaching you, making you into something greater. You were never trapped in the sense that you thought. You were never helpless. You were never powerless. You were always becoming. And now, looking back, you can see it for what it really was. The struggle wasn't about breaking you. It was about making you stronger. It was about preparing you for the life you were destined to live, the power you were meant to wield. You weren't caged. You were being forged. Every scar you carry is a mark of strength, a testament to your resilience, a reminder that you've been through the fire and emerged stronger. Every battle was a lesson, every hardship a step toward your true power. Now you stand at the end of this journey, not as someone who was broken, not as someone who was defeated, but as someone who has been forged in the flames of their own struggle. You are unstoppable. You have been tempered, sharpened, and refined into a force that no one can control. And anyone who tries to corner you, anyone who thinks they can put you back in a cage, they will fail. You will never be trapped again. Because you are no longer the person you once were. You are someone new, someone stronger, someone who has faced their greatest fears, confronted their deepest doubts, and emerged victorious. No one can take that away from you. No one can ever corner you again. Now, you are unstoppable, and you know it.